Hello, welcome to this Computer Weekly video. I'm Bryan Glick, I'm the Editor-in-Chief of Computer Weekly. In this video, we're going to be talking about the challenges involved in migrating applications to the cloud, and in particular, we're going to look at some of the issues for that in a sector of the financial services market. Now, to help me do that, I'm joined now by Tom Maleczek. Tom is the Chief Technology Officer of Charles Taylor InsureTech, which is a software specialist for the insurance sector. Tom, welcome. Thanks for coming along. Now, we're going to talk about cloud application migration and the experience that you as an organisation has had of migrating your applications to the cloud. But let's take a step back from that first and look at why this is becoming such an important issue. What are the real business drivers for you as an organisation, and I guess in the insurance market as well, driving the move to the cloud?
So as an organisation, both the Charles Taylor Group and the InsureTech business, we're 100% focused on the insurance market. Looking at that market, then we have to think, well, how do we solve their problems? And their problems I'd categorise in two ways. One is revenue generation and doing it profitably. The other is cost optimization, and in an increasingly competitive market, we're seeing that cost is a key factor. In order to address both those areas, if I start with revenue generation, insurance companies are increasingly looking to globalize, to expand their products, their services, enter new markets, and if you look long term, they're moving towards things like claims prevention rather than indemnities. In order to do that, they need new technology. They need to invest in that technology. And what the cloud presents as an opportunity is a way to get access to new technologies, but to do it quickly and to do it with less of a capital expenditure. And by putting our applications on there that are focused on enabling some of those core functionalities to operate a business in insurance or release new products, that's one way we can help them with expanding their revenue. Then similarly, if I take the cost optimization, the cloud quite simply it gives two levers that they can utilize. One is new technology without the capital investment, as I've mentioned, and the other is some cost predictability when you scale, and more of that pay for what you use model. And so when you're trying to optimize your costs, having a little bit more of a certainty on how those costs translate alongside your growth of your business or as you reduce your business is actually something that we're seeing resonates with our clients.
You've described some really compelling reasons there for insurance companies to consider the cloud. I guess a lot of your customers are very well established companies, probably quite big, probably with a lot of legacy systems as well. So there's some real technology challenges that these organisations are facing in moving to the cloud. What are the key things that you pick out?
So you mentioned legacy, and yes, legacy is a challenge, but it's a challenge even with on-premise before the cloud. I think what the cloud technology platforms and services offer is choice. Also, what I think it offers is investment and focus. So whether it's organisations like Oracle or Microsoft or Google, with their push towards moving customers to the cloud and working with organisations like ourselves to build solutions on the cloud, we're finding that we're getting a lot of support to address some of those challenges. Similarly, you could say the same with cybercrime. So go back maybe 5-10 years, the concept of the cloud actually presented fear or concern about my data, my services are now in the cloud, I'm more exposed to cybercrime. Again, working with the technology vendors, but also organisations like ourselves trying to deliver those business benefits, actually what you end up with is more focused and compelling solutions to address cybercrime, to build secure services. And then the final piece is we've personally, as in my role, but also as an organisation, we've acknowledged the legacy, and we look at ways in which we can use different types of cloud services to address that, whether that be infrastructure as a service, the rise of containerization. There are different ways in which you can take some of the legacy and move it to the cloud in a seamless and less disruptive manner.
Clearly, there's a lot of things that you need to consider when you're going through this sort of process. But you as an organisation have done this. You've moved your application software into a cloud environment. How did you go about tackling some of those challenges that you described? What are the key steps that you need to do to make this sort of thing a success?
It's a very good question, and by no means do I think we got it perfectly right. And I think that's the first point, is actually accept that you may not get it perfectly right first time, but you need to take steps forward and you need to have a view of why you're doing it. So point one is be prepared to change course. Point two is focus on one or two areas that you can link to a tangible outcome. Could be technology, could be business. My preference is if you can see a business value in it, that will give you the credibility and the ability to then move to the next stage. The third one is find good people that buy into that vision as well. Not everyone will, but you will find a handful of those, and when you do, bring them in and give them the energy and focus around that same project. The fourth point and the next step is don't be afraid to ask for help from the technology providers, from other experts in the field. So if I take Charles Taylor InsureTech and what we do, I'm very comfortable with the expertise and the IP that we can bring to a solution with our domain knowledge in insurance. I also know that we bring specific applications and products IP, but I'm okay with us not being expert in the cloud services or how to get there. But what's key is to find who can help us and to work with them and to give them some gains in it as well. And then the final part is accept that it's going to change continuously. Over the last 4 to 5 years of us being on this journey of moving to the cloud, we've used different technologies, whether that's infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service, containers, and we continue to keep an open mind, but also to spend the time to allow the business to have an open mind to change and the new technologies, and our technologists to give them the time to learn and to explore what's out there. And I think if you do those things, it's a little bit of a lava, rinse, repeat cycle. And I expect it to carry on for the next 5 to 10 years, but I'm excited about embracing it.
I like how you highlighted not just the technology steps you need to take to make this a success, but the people aspects as well, and how important that is, which is so easy to overlook sometimes. Coming back to where we started, you talked about how insurance companies, it's all about increasing revenue and profit. It's all about cutting costs. It's all about getting the people to help you to do that. Now you've tackled these challenges. You've been through this process. You've moved your software into the cloud. Having done that, what have you found have been the real benefits that I guess you've achieved as an organisation, and perhaps more importantly for your customers as well?
So as an organisation, it's really important that we can, walk the talk. InsureTech, cloud, software as a service, these are terms that are bandied about, and it's important to be able to understand them, embrace them and take them forward, but also translate them into real business value. We've been on a journey, we've learned a lot, so definitely that's something we've benefited from as a business, because there's lessons learned along the way. There's things that, in hindsight we may have done differently. There's things that definitely we've learned and we can reuse to deliver value to our end client. In terms of talking about our end customers and what they've got, well, actually, I think they've got in us, they've got a partner and a supplier and a vendor who's forward-thinking and embracing change and looking to expand to use new technology. So they benefit from that in many ways. But we are delivering on the promises of our solutions being fast to implement, being cost-effective, and enabling their businesses. And for me, all of those things combined with creating a workplace that's exciting, forward-focused, and can attract top talent will only enable us to keep doing more of this and moving forward as a business.
So you had a successful project here, Tom. You've made that move into the cloud, but probably most of the people who are watching this video are at a much earlier stage than you, maybe just working out exactly what it's going to mean for them to make a similar move. If you could give one piece of advice to somebody who's just starting out on that sort of migration at the moment, what would that be?
Really good question. I think I would stick with where we started this discussion, which is focus on a business outcome or something tangible, and then look to the cloud, the partners that you have available, the technology companies that are out there, and then make an informed decision using that as your yardstick. It's too often the case that everyone looks at the technology first and says, what can I do with this? We've seen that in insurance with distributed ledgers and blockchain, of everyone saying, this is great technology, we can use it. Now, what do we do with it? And my argument would always be focus on an outcome that you need, whether you're a software vendor and that's delivering value to your customer to be more competitive with features, functions, cost, or whether you're the end customer who's just looking at their estate saying, I need to address my legacy, or I need to scale, or I need to move to new geographies. And then I'd say, if you've got that vision, take that with you, talk to the market, the technology market, the vendors. If you're in insurance, talk to me, obviously. And then I would say use that to make an informed decision and plot your journey.
That's really excellent advice. Tom Maleczek from Charles Taylor InsureTech, thanks for coming along and sharing your experiences of making the move to the cloud. That's all we've got time for in this video. Hopefully you've been able to learn some useful experiences from what Tom has been through that might help you in your cloud application migration as well. Thanks for watching.